Today we're talking about planks. As simple as a plank can seem, quite often people miss some of the key aspects of a plank, and then they maybe their bad form just propagates more bad form, and they end up holding planks for long periods of time with bad form, which isn't necessarily as beneficial as if you were to just focus on making a plank better and planking for shorter amounts of time. So, a couple things we're looking for. Number one, obviously the elbows and forearms are going to be on the floor. Besides the elbows and forearms touching the floor, the toes are going to be touching the floor, but that's the only contact we have with the floor. Some of the key movement inefficiencies we see with a plank is sagging hips and sagging mid to upper back. Quite often people just let their chest hang down towards the floor, and they get this kind of arched shoulder blade or sunken shoulder blade look to it. So instead, what I want you guys to focus on, when you're doing your plank, you're gonna push the forearms and elbows into the floor. So I wanna see as if like you're trying to give yourself a hunchback. That's not the same as sticking your hips way up in the air, right? When I talk about giving yourself a hunchback, I'm talking about giving yourself a hunchback in between your shoulder blades, not your hips or your low back, okay? So we're not sticking our hips up in the air. If anything, you wanna kind of tuck your hips underneath you, almost as if, think of your hips like a bowl and you're trying to tilt the bowl backwards. So the hips are tucking up underneath towards the belly button, the elbows are pushing hard into the floor, and then last but not least, pull the forearms down towards your hips. They're stuck on the floor, they should be stuck on the floor, they shouldn't be moving anywhere, but you can still create tension. That'll help to engage the lats and also round out that upper back just a little bit, okay? So forearms, hands on the floor, toes on the floor, tuck your pelvis underneath you a little bit so the abs are squeezed tight, pull those elbows back and towards the hips, and then squeeze tight and hold. That's all we need for a plank.